This is Brendan from the Kiteboarder magazine. I'm here at the AWSI trade show in Hood River, Oregon, and I'm here with Dave Tyberski. You're going to go ahead and fill us in on some of the highlights of the current Ozone kites.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'd like to talk about first is the Rio V5. This is the most recent product release for Ozone on the kite side of things. This has been obviously the 5th version of this kite, and it's our wave specific kite, so it's very much oriented towards a person who spends a lot of time in the waves, wants to get the most out of their time in the surf, allowing them to kind of redirect really quickly, take advantage of a moving face of water, and just get the most enjoyment out of a wave session. That being said, it's also a very nice, lively, fun free ride kite that people are taking advantage of on foil boards because of its high depower and range. So, but specifically, it's kind of designed and oriented towards the wave rider. So, the V5, a couple of different features that are different from the V4 model is we've actually made it drift even better, if you can imagine that. It's the Rio's kind of been an iconic kite amongst wave aficionados. It's pretty well regarded, I think, in the industry as kind of a benchmark kite. So it's always been really lively, super high depower, and drifts really well. Those are the kind of the 3 main characteristics that you're looking for in a wave kite. So for the V5, we've actually redefined the strut construction to lighten up the weight of the struts, which actually improves its driftability. So that's just going to give you that much more friendliness going down the line, and kind of erasing any of those hiccups you may have with redirecting and going down the face of the wave and losing tension in the lines. It's going to really make that a little bit easier and more forgiving. The wingtip shaping as well is changed slightly, not so much in the wingtip, but just the very end of the strut. We've kind of tapered it a little bit and brought that in to liven it up as well. So again, a really reactive, fast turning kite is going to give you a much better experience wave riding. We've got a new feature as well on the bridle here. I can show you this. It's our variable bridle settings. And what this does here is this is the center anchor for the leading edge, and what this does is it takes your toe points, it moves them towards the middle of the kite a bit or more towards the outside of the kite. So this can enable you to have kind of a different feel for sure on the kite and kind of change the personality of the kite a little bit. This is the standard setting right here in the middle knot for kind of side offshore, down the line, proper kind of wave riding conditions. And if you were to move that knot down here, you're moving the toe points out a little bit towards the wingtips, and that's going to give you a little bit more bar pressure and allow the kite to sit a little bit more deeper in the wind window. So that's going to be lending itself towards more onshore conditions where the wave's going the same direction as the wind, and that's going to kind of compensate and help you with a little bit more of that drift back stability. So that's a pretty unique feature of the Rio V5, which is hitting the markets now. We just got Rio Stevens, a well-known wave rider, will actually be riding the kite. So Rio's going to be riding Rio's. He's actually somewhere in the South Pacific now, running one of his camps and getting hopefully some great content and footage for our public release in September.
Cool. And we got one other kite you wanted to talk about.
Another kite, kind of not polar opposite, but quite a different kite from the inflatable and the Rio, is one of our foil kites, which Ozone has been making for quite some time. We've been well known for our foil kites. So this is our Hyperlink, which is our free ride, kind of medium aspect foil kite. So this was kind of designed with the intent of kind of minimizing all those kind of preconceptions about foil kites being complicated and feeling really loose and spongy. So we've really tried to create a moderate aspect kite that's very stable. Wingtips are very stable. The minimal bridle plan that just shakes out really easy, making it a real simple process for rigging. You can see these just kind of shake out nice and clean really easily. And the main thing is that you're getting a feel that's really similar to what you're used to on a leading edge inflatable kite.
So if you were going to transition from inflatables, this would be the kite.
Yeah, if you were going to take a leap,
take those first couple steps.
Exactly, to go from a LEI into a foil kite, this is going to be your best bet. Because honestly, if someone handed you this kite and you weren't looking at it, didn't know it was a foil kite, you'd be like, oh yeah, this kite feels very familiar, very similar to what you're used to. So one of the neat features of this kite as well is that it's a hybrid open cell or closed cell foil. You can see these vents here. For water relaunch, you want a closed cell foil, meaning the air can pass in through the vents and inflate the kite, and when it goes on the water, the air doesn't rush out quickly, so you've got a nice amount of time and buffer to relaunch the kite off the water. So it's really simple for that. But on snow, for example, or land use, whether you were doing this on a land board or on snow, you could actually unzip this sock here, and this is going to make the air rush out much more quickly if you were to crash it, which is kind of an advantage on snow because you can actually use a fifth line and have a safety system that just makes the air go out of the kite and lose its shape quickly. So you want that on land and snow, you don't want that on water. So a great hybrid kite, the first of its kind, I think, in the foil world. And yeah, we're getting really positive feedback. Guys learning to foil on foil boards. Amazing light wind kite. We've got it in 5, 7, 9, and 12.
How does the sizing on this compare to, like, say, the Rio or someone coming from inflatables? How do you, it's a good question. The foils are, a 2-skin kite. So you've got this power generating surface here, the bottom skin, and then inside the vents of the cells, you've got the whole top skin. So you basically have more power generating surface area. So they're gonna ride much larger, probably I'd say 2 square meters bigger than your average kite. So 5 meter, which this is, probably ride more like a 7 to an 8 meter as far as power and what you're getting out of the kite. So, lots of advantages. They pack down really small, weigh nothing. They're very stable in light winds. So a lot of advantages. So a great option if you're exploring the route of going into using a foil kite. Cool. If anybody is curious about your new quick release or your control bar, we did a little video with Ian Haney, which I think is really informative. So
yeah, and so
you can just link to that.
Exactly, that comes compatible with this. So it's the exact same bar that you saw in Ian's presentation, and yeah, so it's a nice package and a good thing to consider when going this route.
Cool. So if anybody's looking for more information about the Rio or the Hyperlink, where should they go?
They can go to ozonekites.com, and you've got product pages with lots of links, videos, all the tech details and specs that you want to kind of do your research. And yeah, so that's going to be your one-stop shop for all your information, and hopefully you find something you like.
Cool. Well, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thank you.